With Hurricane Dorian bearing down on the coast of Florida and Georgia, President Trump canceled a planned trip to Poland so he can stay in the United States to monitor the storm. Good call, Mr. President. Some of the left, however, are hoping for destruction, including former Canadian Prime Minister Kim Campbell, who tweeted about the storm, quote, "I'm rooting for a direct hit on Mar-a-Lago." She later apologized and deleted the tweet, of course. Joining us now with the reaction is author of Taken for Granted, Fox News political analyst Gianno Caldwell, and Trump 2020 National Press Secretary Kayleigh McEnany. Kayleigh, I want to go to you first. I mean, on the scale of disgusting, does it get any worse than this?
I would like to say no, it doesn't get worse than this, but I think it's equally as bad what we see coming from the left consistently. It's not just the prime minister rooting for devastation, a Category 4 hurricane hitting Florida, but as you recall, you had Johnny Depp rooting for assassination of the president, Kathy Griffin holding up the president's head. I mean, these people are sick in the head. This prime minister, this is disgusting, but it comes in a long line and a long pattern of leftists saying things like, I want to blow up the White House, which is what Ashley Judd said. So it's a consistent pattern here. Now,
Gianno, her justification, I mean, she didn't pull it down right away. Part of her justification was that President Trump's not doing enough for climate change. And when he changed the methane rules, now she wants people to be killed and destroyed and property and destruction on the United States of America. On the scale of disgusting, as I asked Kayleigh, how do you read this?
Bubonic plague. I mean, at this point, when considering world leaders, world leaders criticize the president all the time. We understand that. But it's interesting to see a quote-unquote ally of our country wish death on Americans. And this has become extraordinarily problematic in what we're seeing, especially with Canada. And I think this is indicative of what we saw with the USMCA. They don't like that we have a president that has created American first policies and who's looking out for our country first and foremost. As you all know, we have a trade deficit with Canada in the billions, and we're correcting that right now. And we have a president who's not going to lay down. So I expect more world leaders are going to criticize this president, but he's going to continue to work for the American people and choose us first before any other country.
Now, Kayleigh, this former prime minister was one of the shortest terms. I think it was like 5 months or so. I maybe get the timing wrong. Discredited. I mean, she was one of the worst prime ministers they ever had. I doubt many Americans even remember who she is. But she is working for Justin Trudeau. And she has the job right now of picking who's going to be the next, I think, Supreme Court justice there in Canada. I don't understand how they do their legal system there, but I've heard nothing from Justin Trudeau. What's your message to the current prime minister?
Yeah, the current prime minister should chastise her or ask for her resignation. As Gianno points out, Canada's our ally here. And to have someone sitting in the seat of government, as you noted, rooting for the deaths of people in our country, it's unacceptable language. Language like this should have consequences, and stepping down or resignation is the least of those consequences that she should endure.
And Gianno, I mean, we've heard people rooting against our economy because they want the economy to go south so people would suffer so that Donald Trump isn't reelected again. Mr. Koch passed away. You had people cheering that on as if that was some sort of, there's any sort of justification for that. But how do we call that out? How do we say, you know what, enough is enough? Can we just argue about the actual policy as opposed to death, destruction, and hardship for other people?
We're actually doing that right now here on Fox News, and I'm thankful that I have colleagues that continue to call out this mess on a day-to-day basis. And interestingly enough, when considering the fact that our economy is the best in my lifetime and it'll continue to be the best, you got more Americans working than ever before. You got 7 million job openings and not enough people to fill them. This president has done a tremendous job for our economy. He's going to continue to do a tremendous job for our economy, and he's going to call out this nonsense when it appears. And that's one of the things that I like about President Trump. He's not going to sit down and take it, as we've seen with other individuals who have led in this office, and that includes Republicans and Democrats. So this is a new time for us, and we're going to continue to fight for it because we're not taking it anymore.
Listen, Canada is our friend. It's our neighbor. We love these people. And you know what? I've seen hurricanes in the past come. I remember when Houston happened. It was devastating. But you know what? I saw Americans come together. It didn't matter red, blue, what side of the political spectrum. They all came together. And that's the type of thing, knowing that this hurricane is hitting and devastating people, first to the Bahamas, and then it's coming to the United States. We pull together as an American people. And it is a population here on Earth. That's the way at least it should be. I thank you both for joining us, Kayleigh and Gianno. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Have a good holiday weekend.